Greetings, my fellow patriots. We are live. This is Live Free or Die, alternative news media. Today is Saturday, February 25th, 2012, and I am your host, Eli XL Shabazz. And if you're wondering why the name has changed, it's in honor of Black History Month. And today, we will honor no other than Malcolm X, my favorite black revolutionary. And I believe not many people pay much attention or show much homage to Mr. Malcolm, Brother Malcolm. So I will do that towards the end of the show. We'll play some speeches, one of my favorite speeches by him, speaking of the Constitution and our rights to bear arms and self-preservation. All right. Let's get started with news. This is from Raw Milk Freedom Riders, like your rideatabike.com, rawmilkfreedomriders.com. In Baraboo, Wisconsin, food sovereignty activists from around North America will meet in this tiny town to support Wisconsin dairy farmer Vernon Hershberger. See, Vernon Hershberger was charged with selling raw milk to his neighbors, and he faces 3 years in jail for simply selling raw milk. This is disgusting. I was lucky enough to actually go down to Pennsylvania last week. That's why a repeat was up, but I went down to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I ran into some Amish down there, and I asked them for some raw milk. Immediately, they thought I was law enforcement, but they did give me the raw milk. And I gotta tell you, people, this raw milk is the best tasting milk I have ever tasted in my life. And the reason why we don't have raw milk in the city is because Big Pharma, these big dairy companies, want to sell you their crap. Their pasteurized, homogenized, pus, blood, and urine-filled milk. See, when it says pasteurized and homogenized, that means they have to boil the milk up to 100 and something degrees so they can burn all this feces and urine out of the milk. But raw milk, you cannot have any of this because it's raw. That's why the farmers make sure it's clean, and it's the best tasting milk ever. So you out there, people, contact your congressman, contact your whoever, and let's get raw milk on the shelves because I love it, and it's healthy as hell. All right, let's move on to other news. The underwear bomber, if you don't know, got life. He pleaded out to a life sentence. In 2009, on Christmas Day, Umar Farouk Abu Tabu supposedly got on a plane from Amsterdam to Detroit. In Schiphol Airport, he supposedly went past security with his big underwear bomb and got on the plane and then tried to light it up. Let me tell you something, people. I have been on this flight from Amsterdam to New York. Delta. Same thing, Delta, New York, Detroit. Listen to me. I was lucky enough to go to Amsterdam for my 21st birthday in the year 2000 of March. And this was 2000, people, before 9/11. And the security in Amsterdam is the best in the world, second to Israel. I try to get on the plane to come back to New York. The guy stops me in front of this big podium, and he's asking me the most silliest questions in the world. Did you pack any batteries? Did you go to church? And so I do not believe for a minute that this guy acted alone. As a matter of fact, there is a witness, Kurt Haskell, who is a lawyer, who saw a well-dressed man flash credentials to help get this underwear patsy bomber on the plane. And it turns out this well-dressed man was from the State Department. Who flashes credentials from the State Department? The CIA. It was in one of the episodes in Homeland. CIA don't go around flashing CIA badges. No, the State Department, the FBI, you know, they're intelligence agencies, people. So don't fall for that. This is why they put in place the TSA scanners to scan you with radiation and illegally grab your genitals and pat you down. We must put a stop to this. We must stop this false flag terror. And you can call your congressman on that too. All right, let's move on to another story. This is from Paul Joseph Watson at Infowars.com. He's reporting on an LA Times report which characterizes the sovereign citizen movement as a major threat on par with Islamic extremists. Infers that more than 100,000 Americans are domestic terrorists as a result of their affiliation with the group. The article entitled Sovereign Citizen Movement Now on FBI's Radar. The report quotes Mark Potok of the Southern Poverty Law Center, who in one fell swoop demonizes more than 100,000 plus Americans as domestic terrorists. And he has said this movement that has absolutely exploded, it says it right there. The movement is exploding, people. Freedom is popular. Liberty is popular. Who doesn't want to be free? Who doesn't want to keep their rights? TV heads, fluoride heads, that's who. This is the only TV you should be really watching, because this is educational. You need to watch educational programs as such. All right, and you should also look into the Southern Poverty Law Center. If you're a sheriff or you're a law enforcement agent, do not believe a word that the Southern Poverty Law Center tells you, because they are a bunch of liars. And the only candidate that can shut organizations like this down and bring real freedom and liberty back to America is Dr. Ron Paul. And because it is Black History Month, and a lot of people say that, oh, Dr. Ron Paul is racist, I'm going to show you a clip of a testimony of a man who says the exact opposite, as a matter of fact. Let's go to it.
It was between 1972 and 73, but it was still a lot of prejudice around this area. My wife was sick, and I was trying to get some attention for her. Nobody came to check. They just left her there. Well, I believe I was left there because of the difference, me being black and her being white, and every time I would say something to the head nurse, she would get pretty upset. And then she finally called the Freeport Police Department, said I was harassing her. And I mean, I didn't know anything to do. Well, then Ron Paul come to my rescue. He just stepped in and went to work with my wife. And after he seen her, I'd say no more than 10 minutes later, she had a stillborn boy child. And he said as far as the bill, he would take care of everything, which he did. I never got a bill from the hospital or anything. And he was a doctor of medicine, and that's what he was doing, was practicing medicine, and it didn't matter who and what and why. he was doing it because he think of one human being just as much as another. He's just an honest man, and that's something we need now in this day and time. It's a lot of politics and no honesty. When you have honesty, well, people will try to do anything to blot you out. And that's what they will try to do to him, is blot him out, because he will be honest. And they need more like him.
Click here to donate to
Well,
help get James Story broadcast on television.
From that gentleman right there, this was back in the civil rights era when people were very racist down south, and Dr. Ron Paul stood up and helped this black man. Let's not forget this, people. Ron Paul is not a racist. All right, let's go to more supporters of Ron Paul, which happen to be war veterans and veterans of all kinds. You see, Ron Paul receives the most military contributions than any other candidate, including Obama. That is a fact, people. And over 500 veterans marched on the White House on President's Day this past Monday, and the mainstream media didn't even bother to cover it. So here on the alternative news media, we will. Let's go to it. This is from Adam Kokesh and his march with the war veterans down at Washington.
while Barack Obama was their commander-in-chief. Present arms! amen. Detail! Attend! Hot! Left face! Forward march!
Well, there you have it, people. Seems we have a caller. Let's take it. Caller, you are live. Hello.
Steve. Yeah, it's Steve from New York. How you doing?
Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Yeah, what are you talking about this time?
We're talking about Ron Paul and how the veterans support him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and guess what? You know, I've been hearing, my friend was telling me that they're going to make voting as a...
They're going to make voting
a law now. Voting as a law now. That's going to make it mandatory to vote, because if you don't vote, you'll get arrested. That's what somebody was telling me.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I was hearing somebody. My friend was telling me this. I said, "What? You know, they're gonna arrest you if you don't vote."
Sorry about that.
Yeah, man, but I'm not even surprised they do that, because I don't think no one's gonna go to the polls, because you can't trust either politician. Because remember, Democrats and Republicans are both the same.
No, I agree. It's all a.
Yeah. Now, what you're saying, Ron Paul is our only hope that we have right now.
Absolutely.
Yes, he's Republican, but he makes a lot of sense.
He makes the only sense.
Right.
If you ask me.
And I know him and Jesse Ventura are supposed to be doing a project. Because I know Jesse is supposed to be starting his conspiracy theory, season 3.
Yes, he is, Steve.
Do you know when that's going to be starting? Or you know,
sometime, I believe around summertime.
We're
gonna see that. That's a great show right there, Conspiracy Theory. Lets all the facts out. Hey, Steve, I gotta let you go, brother. We're about to honor Malcolm X. Call me up next week, or if we got time after I honor Brother Malcolm, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you for the call, Steve. We're gonna honor Brother Malcolm right now. All right, we're going to honor Brother Malcolm, which not many people do these days. Not many people point out to the fact that the CIA and the FBI were, actually, they used the Nation of Islam as pawns to commit what they wanted. And Louis Farrakhan was basically responsible for this. And now he's walking around posing as he's an enemy of the New World Order. Well, I'm not going to accept that from you, Mr. Farrakhan. I'm not going to let you, I'm just not going to let it go. No. Okay? You're scum. No forgiveness for you. All right, let's go to one of my favorite clips by Brother Malcolm, where he breaks it down.
Of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights are the principles in which we believe, and that these documents, if put into practice, represent the essence of mankind's hopes and good intentions, desirous that all Afro-American people and organizations should henceforth unite so that the welfare and well-being of our people will be assured, we are resolved to reinforce the common bond of purpose between our people by submerging all of our differences and establishing non-sectarian constructive programs for human rights. We hereby present this charter. Number one, the establishment. The Organization of Afro-American Unity shall include all people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere. In essence, what it is saying, instead of you and me running around here seeking allies in our struggle for freedom, in the Irish neighborhood or the Jewish neighborhood or the Italian neighborhood, we need to seek some allies among people who look something like we do. And once we get their allies, it's time out for you and me to stop running away from the wolf right into the arms of the fox, looking for some kind of help. That's a drag. Number two, self-defense. Since self-preservation is the first law of nature, we assert the Afro-Americans' right to self-defense. The Constitution of the United States of America clearly affirms the right of every American citizen to bear arms. And as Americans, we will not give up a single right guaranteed under the Constitution. The history of unpunished violence against our people clearly indicates that we must be prepared to defend ourselves, or we will continue to be a defenseless people at the mercy of a ruthless and violent racist mob.
All right. You heard it there. See, Brother Malcolm was ahead of his time. By,
concerning the difference.
Let's go to the next one.
Between the Black Revolution and the Negro Revolution. There's a difference. Are they both the same? And if they're not, what is the difference? What is the difference between a Black Revolution and a Negro Revolution? First, what is a revolution? Sometimes I'm inclined to believe that many of our people are using this word revolution loosely, without taking careful consideration what this word actually means and what its historic characteristics are. When you study the historic nature of revolutions, the motive of a revolution, the objective of a revolution, and the result of a revolution, and the methods used in a revolution, you may change words. You may devise another program. You may change your goal, and you may change your mind. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what? For land. How was it? Why did they want land? Independence. How was it carried out? Bloodshed. Number one, it was based on land. The basis of independence. And the only way they could get it was bloodshed. The French Revolution. What was it based on? The landless against the landlord. What was it for? Land. How did they get it? Bloodshed. Was no love lost. Was no compromise. Was no negotiation. I'm telling you, you don't know what our revolution is. Because when you find out what it is, you'll get back in the alley. You'll get out of the way. The Russian Revolution. against the landlord. How did they bring it about? Bloodshed. You haven't got a revolution that doesn't involve bloodshed. And you're afraid to bleed. I said you're afraid to bleed. Long as the white man sent you to Korea, you bled. He sent you to Germany, you bled. He sent you to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, you bled. You bleed for white people. But when it comes time to seeing your own churches being bombed and little black girls murdered, you haven't got no blood. You bleed when the white man says bleed. You bite when the white man says bite. And you bark when the white man says bark. I hate to say this about us, but it's true. How you going to be nonviolent in Mississippi as violent as you were in Korea? How can you justify being nonviolent in Mississippi and Alabama when your churches are being bombed and your little girls are being murdered, and at the same time you're going to get violent with Hitler and Tojo and somebody else that you don't even know?
All right, I wish I could finish that up, but we are running out of time. And Malcolm, Brother Malcolm, is a true revolutionary in my eyes. And at the time of his assassination, it was a great travesty. And what shames me the most, not even Dr. Martin Luther King stood up and cried foul. And over the years, neither did Reverend Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Louis Farrakhan, or Barack Obama. And none of these men can even fill an inch of Malcolm X's shoes. Because Malcolm X was ahead of his time, and he was a true enemy of the New World Order. That's it, folks. We are out of time. God bless the Constitution. God bless America. And if you ever see this transmission, then you are the resistance.
Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen, or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner, because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run, or trying to